let's go ahead and move on to topic number 3. Another big deal, a huge mega deal. All these mega deals everywhere coming at you left and right. It's just freaking crazy. And and that is topic number 3. I said mega deal. I like the word mega. Looks like Sony and Netflix are going to be joining forces in some capacity. And I'm pretty excited about it. I'm going to tell you why. And I have the report right here from Variety. Sony Pictures movies, excuse me, I cannot read today. Sony Pictures moves movie output deal from Stars to Netflix and Rich Pack. And of course, we got Jumanji right there. It says Netflix has emerged the winner of a nearly 2-year auction for the exclusive U.S. rights to stream Sony Pictures theatrical releases and the first paid TV window starting with the studio's 2020 slate. Netflix has also set a first look agreement with Sony for all of the studio's original movies produced for a direct-to-streaming market. The deal also requires Netflix to commit to a certain number of titles from the studio, but it doesn't stop Sony from selling direct-to-streaming titles to Netflix's rivals. In that case, however, Netflix would have to pass on the project for Sony to be able to sell to another streamer. As a part of the pack, Netflix will license an unspecified number of older titles from the Sony's movie vault. Larry, I'm going to come to you first, man. How are you feeling about this huge Sony Netflix mega deal?
I'll be honest with you. When I first read the headline, and I first read that, just the first part of it, I was more excited about this than I am after I finished reading it. Because at first look, it seems like that Netflix pulled off a coup getting a first look deal with Sony for everything. And then you realize it's only a first look deal for their direct to streaming, properties. And so, I mean, that's still a good thing, but Sony could just simply say, no, we plan on having a theatrical release for this particular film. So, they're going to retain rights for it, to do whatever they want to do and sell to whoever they want to sell with it. And it doesn't say if all of their films, at least if it did, I didn't catch it where it's not saying if Netflix is going to have a first right of refusal for all their films when they go to streaming. It just seems like it's going to only be for the films that are designated for direct to streaming. So not to say it's not a big deal, it's just not as big of a deal once you sort of dig in the dirt a little bit.
Let me bring up this quote, then I'm gonna come to you, Eman. Sony Pictures is a great partner, and we are thrilled to expand our relationship through this forward-thinking agreement, said Netflix global film head Scott Stuber. This not only allows us to bring their impressive slate of beloved film franchises and new IP to Netflix in the US, but it also establishes a new source of first-run films for Netflix movies lovers worldwide. Eman, I'm coming to you. How are you feeling about this deal?
I like this again for Netflix, especially as a long-term deal. Because there are certain movies, and I like it also for Sony, because Morbius, I don't think people was going to be rushing to the theaters for that. Right. But, as we've talked about, before, the beauty of the streaming platform is the fact that a lot of movies that wouldn't normally shine in theaters now have a home to flourish. And I'd be totally more willing to watch Morbius on streaming than I would in theaters. And that might actually also be the case when it comes to Jumanji, or all these other films that Sony is going to put out there that might have some issues in terms of competing. But just to Larry's point before about how, is anybody checking for Daniel Craig? They might not, but they could be checking for The Rock and for Kevin Hart when they both are going to be advertising for Netflix for their movies, and that brings even more eyeballs to the platform. So again, it's a long-term game that they're playing here, and they also have access to older Sony things too. I don't really know off the top of my head exactly, what the most classic Sony movie would be, but the end game at the end of the day for them is always, we want more content. Netflix is not only creating original stuff, but they're also bringing in familiar old stuff as well. And I think the play with that is really in the foreign markets. People don't realize the fact that a lot of times these streaming platforms make money hand over fist overseas. And the number one thing that sells overseas and that dictates the movie industry is name brand recognition. That's why we see movies like Fast and the Furious all the way up to to chapter 9 or whatever. It's because they keep the global international audiences invested. They recognize Die Hard from the 80s. So that's why we have Die Hard, Live Free, and that's why we have like all these repeats and remakes. It's because of the foreign market. So I think this is a good long-term strategy for Netflix. They need content, and to make these not so big box office films breathe and grow on Netflix, I think this is really fostering an even better relationship for Sony, because Sony's going to need something when Bond movies are running their course, or maybe they strike out with Spider-Man. They're going to need another avenue. And I think Netflix is like, hey, we got you. You make the movies. We'll put it on the platform. We can all eat and make money together. So I like the long-term strategy here.
I think this works if they're making a lot of action movies, because action movies do well in foreign markets, and comedies and romantic dramas and stuff like that don't always go over well, because the cultural references that you need to make those films work don't always translate when you take them overseas. Whereas war movies and action movies, they are what they are.
Right on. And just let everybody know again, if you're interested more on this topic, there's a link to the article down in the description box of the video. Of course, I'm coming to you next, Elliot. But before I do, let me read this second quote. Netflix has been a terrific partner as we continue to expand our relationship, said Keith Ellie-Gore, SCP's president of worldwide distribution and networks. At Sony Pictures, we produce some of the biggest blockbusters and the most creative original films in the industry. This exciting agreement further demonstrates the importance of that content to our distribution partners as they grow their audiences and deliver the very best in entertainment. Coming to you, Elliot. How you feeling about all this?
Hey, got another.
Got another one.
What's going on? What's going on? Oh my God! Oh my God!
Got another one.
Hold on. What's going on? Harris, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Good discussion. I like the diversity of the arguments. We do too, and thank you so much. I do appreciate it. And also, just real quick before I come back to you, Elliot, just some house cleaning. Y'all always let me know in the chat how things are going on as a viewer, because somebody, I didn't know this, but somebody let me know, like, B, you got your chat on slow-mo and you have a delay. So I checked it today. I had it to where you can only leave a comment every 60 seconds. And I did not know that was messing up the flow. So y'all let me know things like that so I can have a better experience for you. Because that's just what I'm here. I'm just trying to give you the best show possible. And I'm doing the best that I can. So again, thank you for your support. Thank you for the super chat, Herbert Harris. And thank you for those thumbs up. Coming back to you, Elliot, how you feeling about all this?
Yeah, man, this is a smart move on Sony. This is yet again Sony kind of using a already established IP to kind of help their stock, which they did with Marvel, collaborating with them with Spider-Man. And I think eventually we will see Spider-Man be exclusively a Sony project with Morbius and Venom and the whole Spider-Man verse, and kind of say goodbye to the MCU. That might not be for another 5 years, but it will be inevitably happening. So I think this is Sony saying, hey, Netflix, you want to put our movies on there so they can maybe learn how to maybe have their own Sony Plus, streaming service 10 years from now, and just using that for right now. Or this is Sony saying, hey, Netflix, we have animated movies that don't do that well besides like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, things like that. But they have certain animation films that don't really pop. I think of Abomination or whatever. They come out with some animation films that don't do that well box office. But streaming, kids at home, Netflix, that sounds like a great way to put a lot of their kid movies on Netflix to be able to have more people see it, especially with the kids at home and COVID and all that different stuff. So I think it's smart on that end. But Eman hit on it on the relationship, establishing this relationship with Netflix, with Sony. Who's to say they might not collaborate like Sony's doing with, Marvel, and we might get a Sony Netflix project. I'm looking at, Men in Black. There was a rumor about Men in Black and, what was it? Jonah Hill and my man Jason 21 Jump Street.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe they can collaborate together and make that film, or make other original projects that might not necessarily reach an audience in the theater, but might be able to find success on a streaming platform. So this might be a long relationship with Sony, Netflix, original content, movies and shows, as well as, again, Sony may be taking some tips on how to make their own streaming service 10 years from now. So I think it's a win-win for both sides.
Elliot, what if we get a Crackle Plus? I mean, Sony already has a streaming service. It's just free.
Yep.
So, and for those that don't know, Crackle has some gems on there.
They do. They actually do.
I wouldn't know, man.
Except for the commercials.
I've never paid attention to Crackle. I have no idea. I have no clue what Crackle has to offer. But there's
check it out for real. They have some gems on there.
Remind me, please, sir. Remind me, and I will.
Crackle sounds racist as hell. It's just a crackle. I'm just.
Yeah,
I don't know. It just sounds like an old school Hallmark channel that ain't got nothing to do with me. That's just. I would have picked a different name. That's just.
I ain't mad at you, man. But if y'all go ahead and read in the article, there's a number of cool tidbits in here. Like I think Larry touched on originally, the first look deal. Netflix has the right to accept or pass on if they want to stream it. Any of the straight to streaming. I forgot exactly, but let me ask y'all this. Well, let me say this first. When I first read this, I read it wrong, and I was thinking that Netflix bought Sony. I was like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying?
They probably could.
Game over.
I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. And I got happy because we all know that if that happens, if anybody buys Sony, those Spider-Man rights go back to Marvel. And so I was just so overjoyed until I actually paid attention. I was like, damn it, wishful thinking, but I'm not gonna lie, there was something in this that I don't understand, and hopefully y'all can spell it out for me. It's this pay one movie deal or pay TV window that they was talking about in here. I don't necessarily understand how that works, because they were saying like a 9-month or 18-month gap or something like that. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? Because when I only read this like 1.5 times, and I was kind of like, I was kind of scratching my head. I've never heard of that before. And so I don't know if y'all can help me out with that. School me, I would appreciate it. But I didn't know what that. I didn't have a full grasp on that.
I'm not terribly familiar with it, and I don't want to speak out of place. So
I feel you. I feel you. Okay, yeah, it's foreign to all of us. So, but hey, big ups to Netflix. Big ups to let me put them up here. Big ups to Netflix. Big ups to Sony. Seem like y'all are doing good things. Somebody just go ahead and buy Sony so we get those Spider-Man rights back to Marvel. That will make me very, very happy.
Mm-hmm.
What happens if Sony buys Netflix though?
Nothing.
Nah, I don't think they could do that.
I don't think they could afford it.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, James Bond, it was either James Bond or it was Spider-Man, but one of those two is like their top grossing film. I don't think they have the cachet. I don't think. Or the cash.
Disney buys them. What if Disney buys Netflix? They're like, we're just gonna blow up Disney Plus right away. We're just gonna take all those millions of subscribers from Netflix right now.
Man, that's tough.
Yeah,
I don't know if Disney got that much money. I don't know.
Maybe in 5 years,
Mickey's got deep pockets, man. Mickey's got deep pockets.
At this point, though, Netflix has no real reason to sell. You know what I'm saying? Like, if streaming just died for whatever reason, okay, maybe. But right now, they in cruise control, man. You see them stocks too?
Yeah.
Right on.